What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Log Talk podcast with Pert Near Outdoors. This is your host, Billy, and I am coming to you live here, and it is the 19th of December, and hunting season is officially over. So it's kind of hard to believe. It's been almost 4 months now. If you count a lot of us that went out west in September, we were starting our hunting season all the way back then. So we are about 4 months in, and now we are officially done, and it's hard to believe. So I hope everyone's doing okay out there. I know it's hard to believe that we're not out chasing anything or trying to fill tags at this point. It is definitely a weird feeling, and takes a little bit of time to get used to having your weekends back and a couple of your weeknights a week, whether you're out, butchering deer with your friends and family, or if those nights are spent getting a couple hours in hunting after work. So definitely a bittersweet to have it over, but it's on to the next chapter, and Christmas and New Year's are right here chomping around the corner. So we'll hope everybody first off has a good Christmas and a good New Year, and that 2019 was good for you, and that 2019 will be even better. So that is that. So any of you who've been following along with us know that we were in Pennsylvania over the last weekend. We had a big group of us that went down from New York. We ran a cabin down there and do some hunting on some state land. So we had a big group this year. We had 14 guys, biggest group we've ever had to go down, and it was a very effective trip. We shot 6 bucks, and there was a lot of opportunities missed. So just about everybody had opportunity. Only a couple of the guys did not shoot, but they did see a lot of deer and just didn't have that shot opportunity present itself. So what we did was each day we did a podcast on our way out of the woods to kind of recap the day and kind of bring a little bit of that, hunting camp or, hunting group, kind of bring a little bit of that conversation to you and share it. I think that's one of my favorite parts of these hunts and of hunting season in general, is just the camaraderie with the guys or with whoever's in your camp. Just the back and forth, the bickering, the storytelling, the laughs, that's what it's all about. So I really think that this little podcast series we're going to do is going to deliver that, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope it feels like you're sitting right there with us. So what we're going to do is it's going to be a 3-part series. I'll release them all pretty quickly here. I only, let's see. So what we're going to do is we did an intro podcast on our way down there. So Mike, my buddy Mike, AJ, my brother-in-law, Danny, that you all know, and myself, the 4 of us rode together all week. And so the 4 of us are the ones that did our podcast. They're both the episode that will be, the first day, which was us driving down, and then the hunt after, the recap after the hunt on Thursday night. So that'll be the first episode here that I'm going to drop with this one, and then I'll have the next will be a podcast with the post-hunt recap of Friday night and Saturday night, the recaps with the group, and then the last podcast in the series we ended up doing kind of a recap on Saturday night at the camp with we had 5 guys on the mic, and then we had a couple bystanders in the background that interjected a little bit, and definitely brought a lot of humor and a lot of laughs to the podcast. So I think you'll really enjoy it. This is what it's all about at camp. This is what it's like, and at least I know it's what it's like for us in any camp I've ever been in. This is the sort of stuff that you get into. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and you don't have to drink beer or whiskey or vodka or whatever you want, but I know it seems like our group of guys, we always seem to have a lot of fun, and we drink a bunch of beer and really have a damn good time, telling stories and reflecting back on the day and even on stories from the past. So I hope you enjoy this, and with it, what I'm going to do for each podcast, when I load the podcast up and I publish it, there will be an Instagram or Facebook post to go along with it. So in those posts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a screenshot of the topo map to show, as we're talking about these hunts and what these successful drives were and how they were set up. I'll have a map to go along with that, with kind of just roughly drawn on lines of where people were walking, where the sitters were, and I think that it kind of brings a fun angle to it to be able to visually understand exactly what was going on and where everyone was and where the bucks were shot. There's a lot to be learned from that, and we seem to be getting better and better each year using these topo maps and using the technology that we have at our disposal, with Onyx maps being one of them, and then also using the Garmin GPSs, the Rhinos that we all have. It's kind of a staple to our approach down there, is having constant communication with each other as far as knowing where each other are on the map. You can see where your hunting party is, so that's obviously key for safety, but it's also very important for being able to communicate if there's deer on the move and what's going on throughout the drive and throughout the terrain features that we're in. So I hope you enjoy it. I think that'll be a cool little factor here, and definitely follow along and let us know what you think. So we'll keep this coming. Hope to have this series all rolled out by the first of the year. I'm running a little low on my data as far as my allowance goes for the month. We published a few long ones here in December, so we'll try to get all this squeaked in here before the 1st of January. But if not, we'll get that the last episode posted up right there at the beginning of 2020. So thanks again. Appreciate everyone's support. If you have any of that last minute shopping, jump on online and use our links to help us out with our affiliates that we're working with, and help keep this podcast going. So it's been a lot of support so far, and it's greatly appreciated, and we'll keep on keeping on. So thanks, everybody. Take it easy, and stay out of trouble. You can't go out and hunt, so I don't know what you do if you're not hunting, but don't do anything that I wouldn't do. See ya. Are we recording?
Pert near fucking no.
Pert near mobile.
No, I just screwed up your explicit rating on this.
Yeah. Can you point the microphone in my face, please, microphone guy?
Yeah.
Hi. My name's Billy, and this is a podcast that we're recording from my truck. Can you turn that up a little? Turn that dial a little.
There's no dial.
Holy shit.
Recording on an off-road.
Yeah. AJ sounds great on here. Michael, can we get a...
Yeah, check one.
Check one. All right,
Check
Michael's
one.
on. That sounds good enough, Danny.
How about Mark? Is Mark showing up too?
Yeah, give me a beer.
Mark will be here tonight. All right, so welcome everybody to the start of our Pennsylvania hunting trip. So it's in the truck here. We got the old Silverado ripping down some dirt roads in Pennsylvania, and we've got snow on the ground. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now, because I can't imagine there's a lot of snow actually. This is good. So I got Danny is my co-pilot in the passenger seat. Danny, say hi.
Yeah, you got me so entrenched in this audio video crap over here. I totally missed the snow on the ground.
There's a lot of snow.
It's just movement in my pants right now.
Whoa, okay. Is it a fart or is it a frontal movement?
We'll get to that later.
Okay, I hope it's not a fart, is all I gotta say, because this thing's a... Anywho, in the back, we got AJ, my brother-in-law, AJ Hipsch. AJ, say hi.
What's up?
And then, last but not least, Michael Howlett is in the back. Michael, what's cooking?
Hello, listeners.
Are you feeling good after you had your Dunkin' Donuts breakfast sandwich?
Pretty jazzed. It was a power breakfast and ready to hit the trails, trudge through some snow.
Do you feel powerful?
Power is all what it's all about. Just driving force behind this hunt.
Just dig your legs in and just power.
I tell you what, I got some driving forces going right now.
How far away are we?
27 minutes.
Oh, we're not that
Can the
close.
driving force wait for a half hour?
Yeah, it doesn't. Probably these bumpy roads aren't helping your intestinal
no.
tract right now, are they?
No, it wasn't good from the start.
All right.
We'll move on.
We'll move on.
I got
From the start,
I got
meaning
shit
birth.
tickets in the backpack, so we'll figure it out.
All right, so we're making our way, and this morning we left early about 4 a.m. Little left. Oh, that's perfect, Danny. Nice. Keep the mic right there. So we left right
Nobody
after.
wants to hear me anyways.
Yeah, we left right after 4 a.m. and we picked up AJ and Danny, and now we picked up Mike down in Wellsville. So now we're making our way. We're making good time to meet at the trailhead. So as I wanted to get on here and kind of chat a little bit with the guys and what the expectations are for the hunt. But I guess first I want to start with Mike, because Mike, this is your first time ever leaving the farm to hunt anywhere.
That's right.
So what's going through your mind right now?
I just wondering what shooters are, what the genealogy looks like, what kind of genes we got. We're looking for medium-sized bucks, big bucks. What are we passing on? What are we taking down? And just a lot of where's the boundaries?
So, all right. Well, so we'll start with boundaries. So, land-wise boundaries, pretty much anywhere we're gonna go is gonna be, it's all public land. So, anywhere we are, you are hunting, which is pretty cool because you don't have to worry about lines or anything like that. So, boundary-wise, we're good there. So, number two, your first statement is like, what are we looking for? So, in Pennsylvania, there's an antler point restriction. Has to be 3 measurable points on a side. Is that correct? Can my legal counsel back me up?
Yeah, that's correct. Read the regulations.
Michael
book.
did read the regulations.
Yeah, front to back.
You probably know more about the regulations than we do.
Yes, sir. Come prepared.
So you also know, one of the things I wanted to bring up is that, so buck-wise, any legal buck, we're taking, if you got a good shot at it, we're taking a shot at it. So that's to answer your question there. It's up to you. It's not like you are forced to. If you say, I don't, it's a real small one, I want to wait, you can wait. But the opportunities are few and far between. So, like last year was the first good shot opportunity I ever had down here in 4 years of hunting. So, if you get a chance, try to capitalize on it, because you may not get another one while we're on this hunt. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 that it wasn't something you asked, but I want to hit on, is you cannot shoot bears. So a couple years ago,
I will verify that.
Yeah, a couple years ago we had, I guess AJ, you can tell your bear story because you're new to hunting and you'd never seen a bear in the wild.
Yeah, it was my first year of hunting, and it was our last day down here in PA. I was sitting right off of a main logging road. I don't know, probably an hour into the drive for you guys, and right behind me I hear some crashing. I look over my right shoulder, and there's a bear probably 20 yards from me, jumps over the ditch and into the logging road and walks right in front of me. Again, first year hunting, didn't know the regulations down there. I go across our radios and ask if we can shoot a bear, which John comes across a big negative to that one. But
negative. Don't shoot the bear.
What is it?
I guess I was scared shitless to the point that it's a big joke with how scared my voice was over the radio. How I was trembling.
Can I shoot a bear?
How close was it actually? Like 5-10 yards?
5 yards.
Right? Yeah.
It was walking down the road, and I was in the ditch along the road.
I 100% got the safety off at that point.
Oh, I did.
Did it know you were there, or did it walk right on by?
When I came across the radio, it didn't hear me saying on the radio, but when John responded, it heard John. It looked at me and then bolted towards where Zaylor was set up.
Wow.
And it also smelled the shit in his pants.
Yeah,
so it knew that there was something there. That was fun. That was so funny. So we, like that, I think it was that year, we had a lot of run-ins. There was several run-ins with bears, and then the following year, we also saw some bears with a sow with cubs a couple different times. So there is. We didn't see any bears last year.
So was something going on?
We saw a sign. I saw some pretty good signs.
Something going on that year? Because I know sometimes bears can smell the menstruation. I didn't know if they were tracking you guys.
What are you saying?
Danny was menstruating that week, so you might be onto something. They were always downwind to Danny, which maybe they thought it was a rotting body that they could have eaten, or maybe it was the menstruation.
Rotting body would be an accurate statement.
Man, I think there's a dead carcass up here. I'm gonna go look for it. So, any other thoughts? We kind of hit on your points there, Michael. Anything else?
Yeah, well, I guess one of the other questions I had was this. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. It happened to you guys, where you were shooting these bucks, and the antlers were popping off.
Yeah.
Last year.
What was that?
So I don't know, did you guys see, too, I'm part, Dallas had the group on Facebook with the Pennsylvania Hunters group. They're starting to pop off this year.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw some photos last night of people finding antlers already.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different opinions and ideas about why that happens. Whether it's, the harsh weather. We did have some very cold, bitter weather in the beginning of November, and a lot of times they're dropping their horns for a few different reasons. Whether it's a nutritional issue, so whether there's, they drop those horns once their testosterone drops. So whether they're having a hard time finding food, so nutritionally they're just their system's kind of slowing down and shutting down, so they drop their testosterone levels. The rut might be over, which their testosterone levels will drop. Maybe the deer's not healthy. So there's a lot of different thoughts there as to why. But last year it was very interesting, and it wasn't just a Pennsylvania thing, but it was definitely more consistent in a lot of the more big woods areas that people were finding deer where maybe the food was not as abundant, so the nutritional side of things might have been causing those horns to drop. So that's kind of a bummer to hear that's already, because I haven't been paying attention to that, so that's kind of a bummer to hear that some people are seeing them drop their horns already.
So I always thought that it was late January when they started dropping those horns, and Big Jim always told me Super Bowl Sunday is the best time of the year to go out and look for sheds, because that's when they start.
Yeah.
That's the best time when they're on the ground, they're not chewed up yet.
Right. And that's the interesting part, and you'll start finding this, how much different the deer behave and what their nutritional situation is. You'll see it when you get down here, how they're feeding, where they're feeding, and it's so much different here than it is on farmland like your place. Those deer have so much food. Corn fed between that, anything left on the ground from soybeans, browse, acorns you've got there. So they have so much food where you come down to areas like this, or where our camp is in Naples, it's not unordinary to shoot a deer that you think is a doe in the end of, season, even sometimes during the end of rifle season back home in New York. It happens. And we've seen it where that deer's got a wound, and so they're not healthy, and that's what's kind of caused them to drop a little early. But
I guess the only other quick question that I've never had experience hunting with a group with GPS. Usually when we're hunting in our woods, I know the lay of the land, so I know where everybody's at, where they're driving. We can either see each other, or we just know the woods good enough. I don't know what to expect hunting with a GPS and keeping track of everybody, but
yeah,
I think it's going to be a learning experience for me.
Well, I guess I won't answer this. Maybe I'll turn it to Danny. So let you say something. What's your response to Michael's? You can put the microphone in your face.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I would say the big thing is just get your bearings straight on each drive, and try to understand where people are coming from and where they're trying to go for each drive.
Okay.
That's so you'll see on your rhino, you'll have maybe a group of sitters in a spot usually, and a group of pushers, obviously, same as back home. But you're going to want to know directions of where people are coming from, and pushers, you're not going to be able to see your pushers a lot of times.
Right.
So when you're pushing, or just, I would say walking more than pushing.
Right.
When you're walking, just try to keep an eye on your GPS.
You're saying you're not going to be able to see
keep
the
that
sitters.
straight.
You're not going
to be able to see anybody.
Right.
You're really not going to see the walker that's next to you. So just keep an eye on where that person is, because a lot of times these things will get screwed up when somebody might be in the bottom and they have easy walking, but then somebody that's up on a side hill is going up and over ridge tops or around different things.
That brings up another point. Pay attention and slow. If you're walking, slow down or speed up, depending on everyone else on the drive.
Okay, so we're going to try and stay on a line. On a line.
And you were asking, microphone please, Danny. I have something important to say. So you were asking the other night, because we were having some trouble with the rhino that you bought getting the topo maps loaded on. So, I got you hooked up with my dad's radio, but you were asking how important is it? Can I just use my radio, or do I really need to have the maps? And it's so important to have those topo maps, so because that will tell you, we're going to sit when we set up these drives. If you're a sitter or if you're a pusher, we're going to look at the maps, and all of these drives go with terrain features. So you're going to, you'll know, okay, we're focusing in this ravine or this creek bottom here. So you need that topo map to reference, because it does, like AJ was talking about, like getting your bearings. You can get your bearings all you want, but as soon as you start, spinning around and
especially your
shooting, just standing and shooting and spinning around.
Right, yeah.
Especially your first year down there and never being down in these fingers.
Yeah. It might have been my second year down here. You get into some of these clear cuts and that are maybe 5 or 6 years old, or maybe a little older. You get into some of these clear cuts, especially if they're cherry saplings, like they are just so thick. You can have as much experience in the woods, and if you get in there, if you don't have a compass and or a GPS, it is so hard to get your bearings, whether you are going straight or, you can be literally walking in circles. So it's super. That's the beauty of having these GPSs, and don't, if you like, watch yourself, watch where you're going on there. I guess is my biggest.
So I guess that brings up another point, because protocol, when we're on a drive and we're hunting together, if someone shoots a deer, we finish that drive and we go back to the deer.
Yeah.
But what's protocol on these hunts?
We have a very strict protocol, and we figure it out when you shoot the deer. You never know where the deer is going to go and where it's going to be. It could be towards the end of a drive. We had it happen last year, 2 years ago, where it was, let's finish the drive and we're going to switch where our sitters are, and we're going to go back through the area we just pushed and go back to get that deer. Or it could be just a scenario where last year Billy was right down, well, that was what happened with your deer.
Right.
If you're finishing a drive where somebody kills one, you'll probably just get it there and take it up. It kind of will depend. Sometimes we'll stop the drive, sometimes we'll keep going. So it would just be a game time decision over the radio, I would say.
So if you get one or two people will stop and go with you, and they'll continue the drive if it's like early in the drive.
All right. And that's the beauty of having the radios, because once there's one shot, you're going to be communicating with the group to find out what's our game plan here. What are we gonna do?
Roger that. Makes sense.
Yep.
I would say, you asked about walking too. I really like Dallas's point in the last podcast about when you're a walker, walk your 20 yards and pick out a spot where you can see a little bit and get there, stop for a little while.
Yeah.
And then, so keep your movement to times where you can move, stop, because walkers have probably a better chance at seeing deer and maybe shooting deer. So I think you got to really stay aware when you're a walker.
Okay.
It's not just trampling through brush and trying to
funnel them to the somewhere. Funnel them to the sitters. It's too big to do that.
Michael, you've come with some great questions here this morning. You're engaged. I can tell you do your best work in the morning when the sun comes up. So that's some good stuff. I guess anything from you, any thoughts or expectations for the hunt?
Lots of bucks down.
I love it.
It's funny. We're talking about what's a shooter and what's not, and I was kicking that around this morning on our way up. What do you shoot the first legal buck that you see? And I was thinking back to maybe you the last.
Quit wandering around with that microphone.
We were talking about this last year, I think, right, Danny?
Yeah, I just thinking about you, AJ. I think last year or the year before, you didn't see any shooters, or you might not have seen any deer for the longest period of time. And
the first year I didn't see anything.
You could potentially not see a shooter buck for the entire 3 days. So shoot the first shooter buck that you have a good shot at, because if you want a deer and you pass on that one, there's a really good chance you're not going to see another one.
I mean, I forgot who brought it up last year. We were talking about the same thing, and they said, is it fair to everyone else too? Like the drivers, if you're sitting, if you pass on a buck too, because they put in walking and pushing miles, and then you're just going to pass because you didn't want to shoot. So it's
good point.
Yeah,
there's nothing set that we do. But
we had a great time 2 years ago, but we didn't get anything. And if we could have got something, it makes everybody's day just getting one deer. So don't pass bucks.
Copy.
And then on the same token, last year, after we got our 4th or 5th, our expectations went up.
Yeah.
No, we weren't going after just 3 points on the side.
Yeah, and then we started seeing some of the quality that was in there, and everybody's kind of expectations go up a little bit. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing with the snow on the ground still. I'm shocked. And we're not even in the woods. I bet you there's more snow in the woods. So Danny, I want to give you some credit. You're very powerful with your speaking this morning. You're not fading off. So, listeners are really going to appreciate that. You're very strong, and you've taken some big steps in your communication skills.
You did just yell at me for wanting the mic around, so
Okay, so put the mic back in my face.
Taking that with a grain of salt.
My turn. So this microphone, there's 2 audio channels on it. So if you go, and I've caught myself doing it, if you're moving your head left and right, it's not hitting on both microphones at the same time. So when you're talking into this microphone, you want to be trying to stay as direct as you can, talking right into it.
I got it. So that's like your left and right ear in your headphones.
Yes.
So somebody's going to be listening at work like I do with one headphone in, and they're not going to hear me because I was talking on the left side and they got the right side in or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. This is getting pretty near time for some eating pussy kicking ass, Billy.
I think we're going to need to turn that song on.
Yeah.
Do you have that queued up on your...
family tradition.
I know. We'll pull over here. I got to take a piss, and then we'll get that fucking shit tuned on. Danny, your expectations? Any thoughts here?
I went from 0 deer 2 years ago, and my trips here to last year was 6.
You shot 6?
Well, whatever. Yeah. So.
Oh, you mean?
I don't know. I think group expectations. Put some deer on the ground. I think going back to the point we did so well last year. I think expectations are higher. So I don't think everybody's going in with the thought that they're going to shoot every shooter that they see.
Yeah.
But
so what's the group's opinion on me having a doe tag in my pocket? Am I allowed to shoot a doe?
Let's see how the first day goes.
I can't pack any deer out, so I'm a no. Aren't we going to the trailhead?
Yeah, but I gotta go to the bathroom. Bad, like right now. You know how I am, dude.
Yeah, little Willie's gotta.
You gotta get my little
make
Willie.
a show in here.
Oh, it's frozen and crunchy.
Good thing you got those mud diggers.
Yeah, fucking diggers on her.
So
I think we're gonna wrap this up.
I think we're good.
We're getting ready to turn into the state forest, and we got some bumpy roads ahead and some snow. I hope.
And we gotta on the next podcast we're gonna tell one of them great stories about the good times on the way down. A real good one at a fast food stop.
Yeah.
Good joke.
Do you know that did something funny happen?
Oh yeah, don't you remember your good joke at the?
Oh yeah, so we stopped because Michael had an order for breakfast Sammys, and then he only ordered 3 sandwiches for 4 guys. So we had to stop back to Dunkin'. So we we drive through the drive-through, and so I ordered my breakfast sandwich and AJ a little kitty-sized orange juice, and the woman asked me, "Is that all?" And I said, "Yeah. Where do I go?"
Real knee slapper here, folks.
I said, "Where do I go?" And it's like a pause, and she goes, "Just keep driving." And that was it.
Great start. It was a great start to the trip.
What a story.
What a story.
And I'm gonna pee my pants right now.
We're gonna build on that.
So feed them. We'll talk to you tonight. Hit the end. Hit the stop. Yeah. I don't have to hit record yet. We're recording. Is everybody
So did you
mic'd up?
find your mics yet, guys?
Yeah, we got the mics. We just don't got the fuzzies.
No fuzzies. So you both lost your fuzzies. Are they in the thing or are they gone?
Don't you think I would have looked there?
Yeah, that's a good point. So what's up, boys? How'd the day go?
I don't know. You tell us.
I have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we got 1 deer on the ground.
We did.
1 person in this truck got it.
Who did it? Who done it?
Lucky shot.
Slick Willie.
Slick Willie. Yours truly freaking put one on the ground on the first drive 2 years in a row.
First drive 2 years in a row?
2 years in a row. I'm a freaking legend. Put me in the bottom and I will whack him.
the same thing. We just started.
Hadn't even gotten a chance to get into them.
Thanks for letting me enjoy the beginner's luck that I had, Bill.
Yeah. I don't think there is much of a thing called beginner's luck on these trips. Never experienced it.
No, yeah, it's all skill and it's all
It is.
execution.
You gotta have wisdom,
yada.
experience. You have to know the woods.
Yeah.
Really open up this quick.
It did open it up. All right, so yeah, I on the first drive in the morning we had a lot of deer moving, and early on in the drive I was down at the bottom of the creek bottom, and I was kind of hugging the creek, and then everybody else was on the side hills on each side, and I was fortunate enough to be in the right spot at the right time. Dallas came over the radio and said there's did you say there's, I think he only said there's one buck. Did you say there was two?
Yeah, he just said there's deer coming.
He said there's deer coming our way. So I got ready, and here they come, right down across. And the first buck actually was a little bit bigger than the one I shot. And the first buck, he never stopped, and he started cutting up the hill and kind of doubling back on the drive. So I couldn't swing on him because AJ was right above me. So the next buck comes across, and he stopped right out in front of me in the hemlocks and kind of the beach brush, and shot and dropped him right there, and ended up spining him. That first shot I hit him a little high and spined him, and then you had a buck run. I mean, that first buck ran how close to you? I think it was
about like 10 yards away.
10 yards. What happened?
The gun didn't go off, so I wrecked another one and let it fly from my hip.
Oh, the first shot was a hip shot.
No, this first one.
My first actual shot was a hip shot.
Racked another one.
So you felt that was the most effective way to shoot at the deer? Is that what happened?
At 10 yards away, I thought if I had the muzzle pointed at his direction.
So what movie did you learn that shot from?
Hey, I just was told to put him down.
Okay.
Haven't we all been there though? It's like oh man, what if I had my gun down and all of a sudden a deer is 5 feet away from me, and it's like, how am I gonna kill this deer? And it's like, I'm gonna shoot it from the hip probably.
I've never been there.
You've never thought in your life that you're gonna shoot a deer from the hip?
No.
Oh, it's crossed my mind a lot.
Is that right?
Yeah, just a certain situation.
Put the mic in your mouth. Put
certain situation. I've just been like, if a deer comes really close to me right now where I'm at, and I'm not perfectly ready, you're not always perfectly ready, do I pop a quick shot from the hip? And at 5 yards, I think you do it.
I mean, the buck's running right at me. I re-rack. He sees me.
It was self-defense.
Yeah.
You were scared. And
multiple times.
It didn't go down.
How many rounds did you guys rattle off?
I lost count.
Between the two of you.
Yeah, between the two of you.
Well,
4.
806.
I shot at mine twice.
No, more than that.
3 times, excuse me. So first shot, I dropped him, spined him. Second shot, I was looking to put him down, and I aimed for his neck, and at the last moment before I shot, he dropped down, and I missed. And then on the third shot, I didn't miss.
Might have been a good situation for a shot from the hip, Billy.
It might have. You know what? You're right. I didn't take advantage of that technique, and it was probably the perfect situation for it. So that was the first hunt. So AJ, Danny, and I, we tracked the deer that he shot at, and we did find some hair. It was some brown hair, and it was kind of optimistic. I don't think we want to drive that right now. It's fucking probably all icy as shit. That would be wild. So the three of us, we tracked that deer for probably 400 yards or so, maybe even a little more, and just hoping maybe we would cut some blood on that track after we found that hair, and looks like we just gave him a haircut. So we went back to my deer and started taking care of him, and quartered him up, packed him. So AJ and we carried him out, and then we got back to the truck, and the guys had already set up a second drive, so we we all kind of had our positions we had to get to. So we go to the second drive. So Mike, I'll throw it over to you. So as soon as we got radio signal back with you guys was really when everybody was starting to get set up on that drive. And I hear you come over the radio. You had a little excitement today.
Yeah, so we were just walking down the ridge. Pete and I were walking down the ridge, and the other guys were trying to get to their spot where they were going to push from. So they were up ahead, and I hear something crashing through the brush, and my heart starts racing. And I spin around and I look, and it's a big old mama black bear with 2 cubs in tow. One was very small, and the other one was probably a year old. And I had my rangefinder in my hand, and so I pulled up and ranged them, and they were 44 yards from me. And the only thing going through my mind was, don't get between a mama bear and her cubs. Yeah. And next thing I know, I glance over, and Pete's down over on the other ridge, and that was the ridge she was on, and I didn't want him to surprise her. That could have been a bad situation. So I radioed over to Pete and said, heads up, there's a bear headed your way. And he never heard me, but luckily he made it out alive.
Did he see him?
Yeah, he just saw it drop down the ridge, and he just saw the flash of black on the other side of the ridge, but he said he was only a few yards from him, just over the ridge. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. That's the first bears you've ever seen?
Ever, yeah, first ever. I don't think I would.
So what I find funny is Dallas has been coming down here for how many years?
15,
Did you say
15,
96 this morning?
Yeah.
I don't think he's
But not
ever seen
every
a bear.
He's never seen a bear?
Yeah. When I saw mine the first year, said he never seen it.
We've been seeing a lot of bears lately, and I think especially in the one drive. The middle drive, the middle drive that we did today, we see bears all the time on that one.
I wonder if it's there's dens over there or whatever.
They were hanging in the thick saplings, kind of thick stuff there. It was real thick brush that we couldn't even walk through.
Right?
Yeah, right where we dropped in, and she got kicked out, and they were full bore, just charging right ahead. Pretty remarkable animal to see.
Yeah, they are, and they're powerful, and it's amazing. Like you expect when you see a bear that they would make a ton of noise and that they would be just like smashing and crashing, but they're like, they're like really graceful. Like
these ones were moving.
They were moving. They were smashing and crashing.
They were smashing and crashing, and the cubs were right behind her, and it's pretty cool.
Did it seem like the cubs had an idea what was going on?
Yeah, they saw Mama running, and they were following her. That's for sure.
Following suit. So we're concluding the day here. We're heading out of the woods, and so I guess kind of go around the truck quick. How was your day, Danny? You feel like you had a pretty good day?
Yeah, I got sent on 2 adventures today. One was my own doing, so I feel like I ended up doing a lot of walking, and just to get to the bottom of one of these things was like 500 feet of elevation, top to bottom, to these ravines. So I go down to the bottom first drive, and I'm peeking around. I'm kind of a trailer, and all of a sudden I hear Billy and AJ's shots. So I'm like, okay, hopefully we got something on the ground here. And I don't know, I don't think I saw anything on that drive. Super crunchy out there. It's really loud, which is good if you're a sitter because you can hear the deer coming from a mile away. But if you're walking, your chances aren't great. I saw a couple on the second drive, and the third one I spent a mile and a half on a side hill in the middle of 1-inch beach brush the whole time.
That whole side hill.
Yeah, that entire side hill, I was trying to keep at the same elevation because I had guys on the finger ridge above me, and I had John.
Guys like who?
Dallas, Jim, Pete, and AJ were kind of all set up on that finger ridge above me, and I walked all the way to the end of the finger ridge, looped kind of around the end. I kicked some deer out down there, and then I dropped down like 200 feet and just walked that whole finger ridge all the way back to the truck, basically.
I can't believe there was no bucks on that last drive.
We saw a lot of deer on that last drive. It had to be I don't know. There's probably 15 to 20 deer, I bet, kicking around on that last drive. We just couldn't put horns on anything and couldn't capitalize there. So maybe we'll change it up tomorrow on that one and put
They're
something on the
definitely
ground.
They're in there for sure.
Yeah, not a ton of excitement on my end today. Just a lot of walking and aches and pains in areas that I didn't really know I could get aches and pains.
What kind of areas can you go into?
I had one in like the middle of my right thigh, like a burning pain.
Yeah.
I wasn't really too sure about that one. Then I had one on the inside of my left knee that I wasn't really too sure about for a while. I had one on the outside of my right knee for a while.
I want to see a doctor on that.
So
Did the bush latte make it go away? Is that good?
They feel great right now. Yeah.
So there's more there's lubricant in you. So would you say that your workout regimen helps with like sometimes reduce some of these aches and pains, or?
Yeah, I think my workout regimen it's non-existent, and then I sit at a desk all day. So I not only do I not do any sort of physical activity at all throughout the entire day, I sit at a desk and I do my best to not get up and walk around for most of the day. So it's something like this. Yeah, it's
a bit of a shock to the system.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on in my legs right now that I'm not too sure about.
Oh, shit. All right, Michael, going around the truck.
Yes.
How was your first experience?
It was a great day.
Farm?
It was a great day. Everyone was saying, might not see many deer. We didn't see any deer a few years ago, this and that. And right off the bat, we hear bullets whizzing and bouncing around through the canyons. It was great. I didn't see any deer, so a lot of sign on that last drive.
You didn't see any deer?
I didn't see a single white-tailed deer, but I did see 3 bears, so I got you beat there. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I had the phone off all day. Didn't have anybody bugging me, asking me anything. I just was able to enjoy the day, so it was great.
There's a lot of value there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you had a good first day, and look forward to the next 2. I think we should be getting into them, and hopefully we get some more bucks on the ground. So, AJ, what a day you had. I mean, the emotional roller coaster you've been on. How you doing?
I at least got to shoot my gun this year. It's the first time in 3 years I've shot at a deer.
I feel like AJ's experiences in Pennsylvania are like story worthy or something.
Everything.
It's always something good coming from AJ.
And animals come right to him.
Yeah, they walk right up to me.
Yeah. They
Look me
must
in the
not feel
eyes.
any threat at all.
Well, why would they?
Yeah. I don't know.
Haven't put one down yet, so.
What do you use for scent control, AJ?
Or what's the cologne you use because they seem attracted to it?
Yeah. We talked about it this morning. It's the menstruation he's going through.
Yeah, that's right.
The menstruation.
You must not be ovulating right now, Danny. That's what's going on. Or either that, or because you didn't brush this morning. I'm glad now you're drinking beer because that's going to help with your breath for sure. What?
Telling everybody I got bad gas and now it's
terrible.
bad breath.
You get in the truck this morning and it was like,
listen,
good morning.
It was 3:30 a.m.
It was
I was not
it was
when
4:02
my alarm went off. It was 3:30 a.m. and I'm sorry that I didn't brush my teeth.
It's all right. I forgive you. That bacon and ramen definitely covered up any of the bad breath. And the chicken packet you had. Did you eat that for lunch?
No, I had beef ramen noodles with a couple slices of the pre-cooked bacon that you buy at like Tops or something. That stuff, I'm telling you what, nobody talks about bacon as a backcountry food source, but like the pre-cooked bacon strips that you can buy at the store are fantastic.
You're a trendsetter, man. Maybe we should make a shirt. You got your backcountry bacon.
No one cares eat more bacon.
No one cares eat more bacon. Yeah.
Bacon? No one cares bacon harder. What do you think about that?
No one cares bacon harder?
Yeah, no one cares bacon harder.
What does that mean?
Like, you know how Cam Hain, do I have to really explain this right now? No one cares, work harder.
Oh, like no one cares, eat more bacon.
Yeah, it's like kind of like bacon harder.
Okay.
Right? It's funny.
I wish. Yeah, I wonder.
Would be because you don't have any workout.
Yeah, you don't work out, so
Yeah.
you just eat bacon.
So you got like a cast iron pan on the shirt with a couple strips of sizzling bacon.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No one cares. Bacon. Everybody loves bacon.
We'll have to get Jerry on that.
Yeah.
Fucking Jerry. He hasn't responded to me and just asking for stuff. You know, I'd like to pay the gentleman.
Did you send him an email or something?
Like months ago. But he's probably hunting.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Which I understand. I'm distracted too. So, all right. So we went around the truck, and now it's back to me. So I guess I'll wrap this up. So I shot a buck. I'm pretty freaking happy that I shot a buck. And if you're keeping track of the Harvey Brothers Great American Whitetail Championship, I am now up 8-5, and Big Jim is he's shitting his pants. He's done. I mean, he's as good as done.
Probably gonna cry himself to bed
Stick
tonight.
a fork in him. He's done. He's not gonna shoot 4 deer this weekend. And I still have a doe tag for down here. He ain't gonna do it.
Feeling pretty good about buying that doe tag.
I feel fantastic about buying that doe tag because I'm still in the game.
Needs a beer.
He needs somebody give the man a beer.
Thought you were wrapping up.
I am wrapping up.
Yeah,
All right, so we're hitting the highway. I'm shutting my mouth. We'll talk to everybody in the morning. We're gonna have a freaking good night. Feed him.